Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Sim, thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. There are some things you see, you question some certain things surrounding it, and this particular one is not left out because I do not understand how some people are so full of evil. Because you, as a manager that is old enough, that you sometimes I talk up about how it is very important for people to use their number six, which is their brain. But it looks like some people have abandoned their brain and they are using their anus because, as it is, this is what this man used. You are a manager of a store and you saw a disabled child that works with you, and this young man has been going back and forth on foot, going home and back. So he's been taking fruit cup, which is actually about to be discarded or something like that, right? I understand it, and chicken, and I understood it is still in the company's premises, but they would throw those things away, and he takes the fruit and the chicken. And one thing I wanted to know is that he wasn't taking it that he is like, carrying everything, maybe the one that will sustain him. And this man watched him for how many months? Probably 3 months. And then it was $100 and something, right? He decided to call the cops on a disabled child. And now this is more like, I am going to tarnish your image, or something like that. See, you see humanity, when we talk about humanity, it goes a very long way. Let's get into this video.
Hello. Hey. So we have James here.
Who's James?
Right here.
Right here? Okay.
He is he works in our deli department.
Okay.
And we found out that he's just been taking like orders of chicken and fruit cups and stuff like that off the store
For 110?
Yep.
All right. James, do you have anything on you need to be aware of?
Not
Don't
like
reach for it if you do. Don't reach for it if you do.
Okay, so I have a Sharpie and a box cutter in this pocket. All I have in this pocket is my phone and my earbuds, and then in my back pocket I have my wallet.
All right, go ahead and stand up for me.
Okay.
All right, just go ahead and put your hands on the wall for me. I'm just going to take everything out. We'll get it with you. All this stuff yours? Like the box cutter, that's not my property or anything?
That should be my property.
Yeah, that is.
So then I can stay here with them.
Yeah.
All right. Anything in your shoes or anything like that?
Nope.
Go ahead and put your hands behind your back. Okay? You can put your palms together and drop that. Put your palms together. Palms together. Palms together. There you go. Make this easy on you, all right?
So managers are having y'all arrested for eating fruit cups on the job? There's a viral video circulating on TikTok of a teenage boy named James who works for the retail chain called Mayor. Apparently James has disabilities and he walks back and forth between this job and his home, and clearly he had some struggles and he had some financial hardship going on, and the baby was hungry. So apparently while at work, James had been eating fruit cups and I guess he wasn't paying for them. So instead of his bosses coming to him and telling him, hey, James, don't eat the fruit cups no more, or even offering him some help and assistance to see if he needs anything, they allowed him to eat over $110 worth of fruit cups and called the police on him and had that baby arrested. I remember, when I was 19 years old and I was working at Dunkin' Donuts and my manager would let me have a little donut or two. And I remember, at the end of the night, we would count down the donuts and he would let us go home with like 2 boxes because they was going to get thrown in the trash anyway. And what they did at Mayor was very much vindictive and it was disrespectful and it was cruel. He did not have to get arrested for that. He worked at the establishment. They could have offered him help. They could have offered him some type of financial assistance. He worked for the company. And y'all mad over some fruit cups, and he hungry? Disrespect. Y'all, how do y'all feel about the situation? When I saw that video, it honestly burned a hole in my heart, and I couldn't help but be mad because I'm like, it will never be that serious. It don't take all that. It don't take all that. But let me know in the comment section your thoughts on how they treated that boy and what you think they should have did instead. Like, comment, and share for more commentary content.
Have y'all heard the story of the 16-year-old disabled boy named James that works for a grocery store called Mayor, and the store manager had him arrested for stealing fruit cups? James is 16, he's disabled, he walks to and from work every single day, he doesn't cause any problems with anyone. So allegedly at the end of the night, there's a throwaway bin that they put groceries in that they're gonna throw away and not use anymore. James ends up taking out the fruit cup from it every single night on his way home. The store manager, a male manager, I don't know his name, saw this and instead of saying something to James, decided to watch James for over 2 to 3 months take fruit cups. He then waited until the total of the fruit cups got up to $110 and then called the cops and got James arrested. As the store manager, instead of just simply going up to the 16-year-old disabled kid and letting him know, hey, even though it's in the throwaway bin, we don't want you to take it, you decide to watch him for over 3 months to build a case against him and call the cops and get him arrested for $110. I'm very big on people being held accountable for their actions, but something so ridiculous just seems like it was an evil thing that this manager at the store decided to do.
The young man that they called the police on after watching him for over a month eat fruit cups out of the throwaway bin. I'm not going to address that because we all know that that was bullshit. I'm going to address the people that I seen, like a lot of blank profiles. That's probably Myers, the people that work for him, or the manager himself with a bunch of different profiles. But I've seen like a ton of comments justifying what the manager did by saying, well, they did it because he would have sued the store. His parents would have sued the store because he got sick from eating the fruit cups. How in the hell does that make sense? If anything, the manager, knowing that he has a disability, knowing that he was taking the fruit cup from out of the throwaway bin, which it's in a throwaway bin for a reason, knowing he has a disability, knowing he's taking the fruit cup out of the throwaway bin, him watching him do it for over a month, that's a lawsuit in itself. So if he really did legitimately care that he was going to get sick, then why watch him eat something that could possibly make him sick for over a month until it racked up a certain amount of money? That was literally done facetiously. And you will not convince me it was not done so that they can fire him, most likely because he has a disability. They didn't want a lawsuit for firing somebody for a disability. I've heard several people say that, and I have to agree. Because I feel like it's a lawsuit in itself for the manager to have watched him eat something that's in a throwaway bin that is marked unsafe for over a month, knowing that he has a disability. I think that that's facetious, and that's a lawsuit in itself. That manager and every single body else that's involved need to completely get fired expeditiously.
Why did I just wake up to see that a 16-year-old has been arrested for eating fruit cups and chicken at Myers? To give some context, he's 16 years old, he seemingly walks to and from work, and he works at Myers. And he worked in the deli department and had eaten roughly $110 worth of chicken and fruit cups. And instead of the employers, a bare minimum, telling him, hey, we know you're eating these fruit cups, don't eat them or you can get in trouble, they decide to just let him continue doing it and then get him arrested. And if you watch the video, the cops treated him like he was a threat. They damn near treated him worse than they would treat a school pew-pewer. And I guess my question is, Myers and any company that does this, what do you gain from this? There are many things you could have done in this situation, like, I don't know, providing him some type of resources or just letting him eat the fruit cups, especially if you were going to dispose of them anyway, especially because on your website it talks about how you want to reduce food waste, but instead you choose to get this child arrested, something that's going to go on his record as a 16-year-old. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's ridiculous, and I think it's a shame on Meyer for calling this in at all.
Did you all saw that video of that 16-year-old teenager named James working at a grocery store called Mayer's, whose manager got him arrested for eating fruit cups at work from the store? The guy is 16 and he has special needs. I'm not justifying. He shouldn't eat fruit cups from the store. But the way his manager set him up and got him arrested has gotten so many people in the internet angry and upset. So his manager saw him eating fruit cups at work from the store, and he kept watching him for 2 to 3 months until he reached an amount of $110 of eaten goods. Then he called the cops on him and got him arrested. To me, that is so evil of an act, to be honest. Because as a manager, he had so many other ways to deal with this situation. He could have fired him immediately, or he could have pulled him aside and tell him to not do that. But he chose to get him arrested. He trapped him into getting arrested. They'd be throwing food anyway. I am not justifying again. He shouldn't take fruit cups from the store. That's theft. But as I said, he has so many other ways to deal with this situation other than getting him arrested. He is succeeding, he has special needs, and apparently he's struggling and he's walking to work back and forth. I am really sorry for that kid, for James. And go watch that video, by the way, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. And I wish James all the best in his battle with this legal battle. And before I go, this was Ashraf, and this is day 65 from my public speaking challenge, and see you tomorrow.
Let me ask yourself, if you were at work and you were hungry, would you ask your boss to help you out, maybe get you something a little to eat? Or would you just assume he's going to arrest your ass because you might take a little bit of food here and there because you're hungry at work? A boy named James with special needs was working at Mayer's, and over a couple months, it added up to $110 in the chicken and the fruit cups that he was eating. And instead of showing a little bit of compassion, instead of pulling this man to the side and try to help him out, this billion-dollar company calls the cops on him. And the wild part is, he tried to pay a couple times, but he couldn't because the lines were too long. So now they wanted to turn that into a crime. And guess what? Now people are heading to their official TikTok page of Mayors, and they're on their ass. And I don't blame them. Watching they shoot this man down and like a straight criminal. Got him sweating bullets like he really committed a real crime.
He is
this man with the handcuffs over fruit cups.
And we found out that he
We are so fucked if we're locking people up over fruit cups. Do you guys think he deserves handcuffs, or do he deserves compassion?
This story breaks my heart. Have y'all seen the viral video of James, the little boy? He was a teenager that was working somewhere at a grocery store, and they watched him for over like 2-3 months, and he kept eating the fruit cups until they built the case against him. And then the police is coming in the room, and y'all could tell this child is just an innocent child. Somebody said he's disabled as well, and he also walks to work, you know, to get there every day. Y'all, it breaks my heart because as the store owner or the manager, you couldn't just pull James to the side and tell James, look, you can't do this. Y'all sat there and watched this little boy do this for over 3 months to build up a case, to call the police. And then this video, these cameras on the police are embarrassing people. You could just see that he's scared, just sitting there, and more police are just, keep walking in the room. The story is in my repost, guys. Please go watch it and come back and tell me, do you feel that they could have handled this better? They could have just warned him. But from my understanding, they raising money to help him out, with a lawyer or whatever the case may be. But it just hurts my heart because this could have been anybody's child. And all a manager had to do was just tell him, look, you can't do that, James. Don't do that. You don't know what situation people may be in. You don't know what's going on at home. And he was a teenager. But I don't know. That story just breaks my heart, okay? Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed. Y'all see any more videos about James, please keep me updated. J-Lo. Mwah.
So there's a video going viral right now on TikTok. It's about a little boy named James. Now, he's a teenager, and he's working at this grocery store called Myers. I've never heard of it. We don't have one in this area. But James is a teenager that's been working this job. He walks to work every day. Now, James has been taking the chicken and the fruit cups for the past 2 or 3 months. You know how like stores, from what I understand, because it's hard to know what the truth is for real, especially when people put out a bunch of videos. So I don't know if this was after the shift or during the shift, but James would eat chicken and fruit cups. Now, if you want to watch the full video, click the comment and it will bring you back to the full video where you can see what happened with James. Now, if you look right here, this is the loss prevention guy, and he's been watching James for about 2 or 3 months, and he says James has been taking the chicken and the fruit cups for the past 2 or 3 months, and it all amounted to about $110. Now, if you talk to James, from what the videos say, James has some type of disability. I'm not sure whether it's environmental delays, educational delays, I'm not sure. But from what they say, James has some type of disability. When you look at James, he looks like a teenager, but there may be some disabilities involved. Well, the managers right here decide to call the police on James for $110 of fruit cups and chicken over the past 2 or 3 months. Instead of finding out about it, sitting James down and say, listen, James, you can't do this, especially if there is some type of disability. Sitting James down, James, listen, you can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. Get back to work. Now, do you think that the manager should have set James down? Now, I understand if you're stealing, of course, that's what happens when you steal. But James, being a teenager, not really knowing the gravity of what could possibly happen, and stores throw food out all the time. But do you believe that James should have been arrested, that maybe the manager should have sat him down? Tell me what you think down below in the comment, because I know what my heart says as a mother of multiple teenagers. I know what I would have done as a manager, but let me know what you think about it in the comments below.
I was already pissed when I seen that story about the boy that worked at Myers and he got arrested because he was eating fruit cups on the job. I'm assuming that this boy, eating them on his lunch break, he was taking them out the trash after the end of the day. Like, they had throwaway bin at the end of the day of shit, and he was taking the fruit cups out of the trash. They called the cops on him for eating $110 worth of trash. It wasn't even just a fruit cup that could have been sold. He was taking, away from profits or nothing. They called the police on him for eating out the fucking trash. This is the America we live in. Myers, y'all called the police on y'all employees for eating out the fucking trash? Are you serious?
Y'all, I am so mad right now. Have y'all seen that video of the guy in the loss prevention at Meyer? His name was James. I think he may have had disabilities, or he might have just been nervous. But he was like a teenager that worked in the deli or something like that at a Meyer. And, he was eating fruit cups and chicken apparently. But they didn't check to see if he was struggling, to see if he needed some kind of help, some kind of financial assistance. These motherfuckers, some lady manager, loss prevention, and then maybe the store manager got together, let him eat apparently enough chicken and stuff to file charges, and got him locked up and arrested. Sat there and watched it. Now, the loss prevention person, you probably bored, you ugly, redhead, stinking, with the glasses on, with your little clipboard looking stupid. The manager, yeah, this is James, and then the lady just sitting there quiet, cause you wrong, dirty Karen with the brown hair and that dirty ass, ugly ass blue blouse on, bitch. Anyway, yeah, so they had this guy arrested. And you could tell he was scared. That's sad. Like, they really, instead of offering him some kind of help, some kind of warning, some kind of, hey, you can't do this. Clearly, you're hungry. And here's my thing. If people had enough money, if these companies, these big corporations were paying people enough money to be okay financially and be able to buy the food wasn't sky high, people wouldn't do shit like that. You paying these people poverty wages, they're gonna commit poverty crimes. He was eating because he was hungry. It ain't like he stole money, cash. He was eating food because he was hungry. I don't know, it just don't seem right to me. I will not be going to a Meijer ever again. I never did. And back in the day, I used to boost from Meijer, and I got their ass good. Shoes, clothes, Tide Pods, everything. So I already did my little due to Meijer, and I won't be going back Meijer. And that's how I see it. How do y'all feel about it?
I'm going to try to get through this video without crying because I already cried once watching the video for the first time, but I just saw the video of the boy named James that's 16 years old and he's disabled. At the end of the night, he would get the fruit cups or take a piece of chicken or something that was going to be thrown away, and he would eat it because, you know, he was hungry or whatever. He walks miles to work, and then back home. And instead of the manager saying, buddy, what's going on? What's happening at home? Do you need help? Is there something I could do to help you? Do you need more hours? Do you need help with food? You know, I've been a manager, and I've had employees come up to me at the end of the night when the food's going to go in the trash and say, hey, can I take some home for my kids so they can have dinner? Absolutely, take all you want. It's going in the trash anyways. I don't care. But the video, the look on that boy's face and the defeat and the confusion, like, what's going on? What did I do? The kid was hungry and he just wanted some food. And oh my God, I'm going to cry. Because as a mom, that breaks my heart that a 16-year-old boy was so hungry that he was stealing and that he was taking food out of the trash. I don't care if you think it's right or wrong. He was 16 and disabled, probably has a learning disability. And instead, as a manager, a company, a multi-billion-dollar company, instead of taking him aside, you wait 3 months so it adds up to over $110 so that you could charge him. What kind of monster are you to do that to a child? There are so many sick shit things happening with kids these days on the internet that I can barely even open up TikTok without seeing something that's happened to another baby, then another kid's dead, and this 16-year-old's working. And you don't know his home situation, so instead of asking what's going on, instead of asking what he needs to help him get through his day, do you need me to buy you lunch today? Are you hungry? What's going on at home? What it is that you need? We have resources. The company that I work for has resources. I've worked for my company for almost 5 years. My managers have never told me, no, you can't take a lunch break today. No, you're not going to eat today. My managers have never... They ask me if they see that I'm looking a little down for the day because they know who I am as a person and my personality. They ask me, they step to the side and talk to me and ask me, are you okay? What's going on? They know all my personal life. They know everything that's going on with me health-wise, with my family, with my dad, with myself. And they are all so very understanding, and not everybody has the luxury of that. And we're a multi-million-dollar company, and they work with me, and they give me what I need so that I can get through the day mentally, so that I don't have to worry about my job and whether or not I'm going to have one the next day. And this poor kid, the look on his face when the cops put him in handcuffs and told him to stand up, I don't think I'm going to get that image out of my head. I'm going to take that. I don't have a big following. I don't have a lot of followers, and that's fine. But I get my script sent there to Meijer because it's close to me and because my medications are a lot cheaper there. I'd rather pay double than what I'm paying now than to ever take my business back there again. First of all, their food's highly overpriced anyways, and the only reason why I go there is because I get discounts on my medications that I take a lot of, which is $500-600 worth of medications a month. And that's just with my deductible that I have to pay out of pocket. That doesn't include what I would have. One of my medications alone is over $1,000 if I had to pay out of pocket. So I'm going to be looking somewhere else to take my medications too, because it's horrible and disgusting that you waited 3 months so that you could charge that kid and have him locked up over $110 worth of fruit cups and a couple pieces of chicken that were going to go in the trash anyways. Never, ever would I ever let somebody that I work with go hungry. If I have extra, hey, y'all, I have extra. Anybody want it? And as a human being and as a mom, I would have had to say something.
It's all I got from this video, and I really do not know much to say, but this really broke my heart. Why? Why people are not even talking about it. Now, you see, humanity goes a very long way to start with. So the manager must really be an evil person, very evil. I say what I said. Some will say because it's a store and all that. Already, those food cups are something that are already in the, like a discard pack or something, like something they would discard. Do you understand this? Something that will be discarded. And he took out of it. And for how many months? The manager has been watching him eat that without saying anything. That is how bad some people are. Very bad. So if an old man could not speak to a small boy, a 16-year-old child, tell him, I am not sure this is set for you, and I do not think you should continue eating it. And seeing also this young man is struggling, going back and forth home and back to work by foot. Is that how you see? That is one of the reasons why I keep telling us that some people deserve this administration. I know it is not good for my people. We all know. But some people are as worse as the same person they have as a president. Bad behavior, ill-mannered, and all that. You know, sometimes some people do not understand the struggles, or they choose not to understand because they are very selfish. Because at this point in time, if you ask me, I am going to tell you he is a very selfish old man. That you saw someone, 18, constantly taking something from somewhere. Where I come from, food, most especially, is not something food, water, and all that are not something you tell people that you stole, except you went to bulk, right? That is when they will start asking you questions. But fruit, and chicken. And I am sure he's not taking it in large quantity, because for it to be $100 and something in maybe 3 months, that means it's just like what to eat for that moment. Nothing more than that. And they still did not deem it fit, as someone that worked in their firm, to ask, what is the struggle? Excuse me. What is the struggle? Why do you constantly eat from this place the food that has already been out, mapped out to be discarded, right? And hear from the little child. You know one thing, now it's black people that is talking about it. You see, humanity goes a long way, The people that call my people savages, when you look around, you definitely will know who the real savages are. It really breaks my heart. Nobody deserves something like this. And now you can see that this, on the 16-year-old child, he called the cops on him. This will be on his record. That he stole what? He was scared of the child being ill from the fruit cups, because it's already mapped out to be this. Did you not fear God that you said you people serve, that in God you trust? Did you not fear God enough to know that you are also supposed to speak to that child, and the cops were the best people to call? You did yourself dirty. Bye for now.